Good afternoon, folks. This is Len McDougall, author of a dozen books on the outdoors. You can find them at Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, etc. And I hope I'm in frame because this is a selfie. I'm going to do a quick video today on the pace counter. This one is very simple. This one is made of sections of black insulation off a copper wire, threaded like beads. They're cut into sections and they're threaded like beads onto an ordinary piece of clothesline. This thing will help you get through the woods accurately. And with a map and a compass, it's pretty much as accurate as a GPS, except a lot simpler, and it goes way back to the Revolutionary War times and was used extensively in Vietnam. Okay, the way this works, first you have to determine how many steps does it take you to cover 100 yards. In this case, this is set up for miles, not kilometers. So you need to know how many steps it takes for you to travel 100 yards. In some cases, if you have very long legs, it may be 95 steps. In some cases, it may be 110 if you have very short legs. You first need to know that. And the way that I would recommend that you find that out is to measure off 100 yards and walk that distance several times, at least 6 or 7 times, to become statistically correct, to get a good evaluation, an average, a median, and determine on average how many steps it takes you to travel 100 yards. Now this pace counter has a knot in the middle and a knot on each end to keep the bead from sliding past the knots. This pace counter has 17 beads on the 100-yard section. That is because there are 1,760 yards in a mile. And the image of an outdoorsman as being just a dumb hick, like a Deliverance hillbilly, is not true. You will find that an outdoorsman is one of the best educated people you'll ever meet, because he has to be. He has to know that there are 25.4 millimeters in an inch, 5,280 feet in a mile. He has to know these things, that water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. He has to know these things. So generally speaking, you'll find that outdoorsmen are not hicks. They're very well educated. Okay, in the practice, this pace counter, you walk 100 yards because there are 1,760 yards in a mile. So there are 17 beads plus 60 more yards equals 1 mile. Each time you walk 100 yards, whether it be 110 paces or 95, you slide one of the 100-yard beads to the end. You start with all of the beads in the center. 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, 400 yards, okay? And this is also very good for pacing off a rifle range, for sighting in your rifle. And every time you get all 17 beads to the end of the rope, you pace off another 60 yards, and then you slide one of the mile beads. I usually have 5 of them for 5 miles. One of the mile beads to the end, and slide all of the 100-yard beads back to the middle, and then you start over again. 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, until you have all 17 beads plus 60 paces slid to the end. Then you slide another bead, that's 2 miles, to the mile end. This is a very simple instrument. And if you use this with a compass to keep you going in a straight line, and a map to let you have a preview of the terrain you're going to and where you've been, then you are just as accurate as a GPS out there. These 3 items will allow you to traverse any terrain in the world and not get lost. And as more importantly, not getting lost is simply kindergarten for an outdoorsman. No outdoorsman, no woodsman gets lost. Finding something in the woods where you may have to go, oh, I don't know, 90 degrees to the west, the east, for half a mile, and then turn north for another 3/4 of a mile down a box canyon or something like that to find a trail. That's where the pace counter, keeping track of the distances you've walked, and a map and a compass all fit together like a perfect system. And with these 3 items, this is a great navigation system. You can just about find anything you want in the woods, and you'll never get lost. This is Len McDougall, author of The Complete Tracker, editions 1 and 2, Practical Outdoor Survival, editions 1 and 2, and The Mackinac Incident, my first novel, and one that I hope you will like if you read it, and I hope you read it. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. This is Len McDougall, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Bye.